And the president would change. You had Bush, you had Clinton, you had Bush, you had Obama, and the foreign policy wouldn't change. There was a joke in 2008. They said, they told me if I voted for John McCain, we'd get another war in the Middle East, and that was true. I voted for John McCain, we got another war in the Middle East. Obama's foreign policy was basically indistinguishable from McCain's foreign policy. Maybe Obama gave a little more money to Iran, but in terms of the constant wars, the never-ending wars, that was the same policy. You didn't see that really change at all. The policy of bombing Saddam Hussein every so often, that had been going on for a very long time. So that battle is going to come up, and the media haven't learned a thing here. This MSNBC host, I guess he thought his microphone was off. I guess he thought the camera was off, but he was asked what he knows, and I thought he gave a very precise answer.
NBC's Ken Delaney has some new reporting on something that we talked about at the top of the hour, how the Trump administration is handling the transition with the incoming Biden team, or not handling it, we should say, to a certain extent. This time, it involves our intelligence community. Ken, what have you learned, sir? Okay. Think we lost Ken for a second. We'll try to get him back there.
Now, they thought this was a mistake. That it was accidental. I don't think so. I think that was a very precise answer. What have you learned? Not very much. I can't use the words because I'll have to be bleeped out myself. So that's pretty fair. That should be the headline. What has the media learned? Blank, blank. Absolutely blank. But then they cut back to him. They cut back to the guy, and he makes his point. And you hear in the premise that the President-elect Biden is transitioning in. The election hasn't been called, but he's transitioning. How is this going to work for the intelligence community?
Hey, Craig. First, I want to sincerely apologize to viewers who may have heard me use profanity at the top of the last hit. But what we're learning today is the potential impact of the resistance of the Trump administration to acknowledge the Biden win in the intelligence arena specifically.
The intelligence community. Why do I care what the intelligence community thinks about a duly elected president? Or in the case here, a not duly elected president, someone who we don't know who the president is going to be. Why do I care what the intelligence community thinks? I like the intelligence community when they do their job well. That's good. I guess it helps our national security. I despise the intelligence community when they decide that they are going to take our republic into their own hands and try to undermine or overturn an election, as they did in 2015 and as they did in 2016. This is what would be one of the greatest losses if President Trump ultimately does not prevail in this election, if Joe Biden is named president. One of the great losses is that the deep state blob will solidify, will reform. And President Trump has done a great job of exposing these guys. Had Hillary Clinton won in 2016, we would have had no idea that the deep state under the Obama administration spied on the Trump campaigns, used the weapons of the state to spy on their political opponents. We would have had no idea that they cooked up phony intelligence with the Hillary campaign and the DNC to try to frame President Trump, which led to a Mueller investigation for however many millions of dollars in 2.5 years, which led to a fraudulent impeachment, which led to so much because of these particular leaks. Chuck Schumer admitted this. Early on, when Trump said, I'm going to clean up the deep state, particularly the intelligence community, Chuck Schumer said you should never go against the intelligence community. They can kill you 9 ways from Sunday. They can get you so many different ways. They got dirt on everybody. Don't go up against them. That is what he said. And I think it was actually probably good advice to President Trump. Trump, fortunately, though, had some courage and stood against it. What do I care? I don't care that the intelligence community wants Joe Biden installed president before the legal process plays out. It does nothing to me. I hope you enjoyed that short segment from the Michael Knowles Show. Be sure to check out the full episode linked in the description or download the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.